Φίλοι μου, γεια σας. Στην εκπομπή Κουβέντα με το Βασίλη κάθε φορά μ' ακούτε να λέω ότι είμαι ενθουσιασμένος για τους καλεσμένους. Και ο σκοπός αυτής της εκπομπής είναι να καταγράφει το έργο ανθρώπων που κάναν κάποια διαφορά στην παροικία μας. Έτσι είναι και οι τρεις καλεσμένους μου σήμερα σε μεγάλη προσφορά. Ο πρώτος καλεσμένος μου είναι κάποιος που δεν ξέρω αν θα είμαι πολύ αντικειμενικός, γιατί το γνωρίζω, μεγάλωσε με το γιο μου. Ο πατέρας του ήταν ο καλύτερος μου φίλος και σήμερα είναι ο πρόεδρος του Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Andy Seretis, καλώς όρισες στην εκπομπή.
Thank you very much, Bill. Pleasure to be here.
As I said, Andy, I know you as a child, okay? You grew up with my son in your home. I was every day with your late father, my best friend, and your father, myself, Kanelopoulos, Louva Varoutsos, a few of us were the founding directors, John Sotos, the founding directors of the HHF. And I'm so glad that today you took over from your father. That moves me. Not only personally, but what it means. When we had the idea to create the HHF, this is a dream that we had, all of us. We said, what is going to happen to the new generation of Greek Canadians? How can we preserve our culture? And to see you and the others, the new generation of Greeks, I think it's a fulfillment. It's a dream that came true for all of us. So I'm so glad that you're here. Andy, you grew up, you studied, you're a lawyer, you practiced for a while, and now you have taken over the business of your father, along with your brother, Nick. Is that correct?
That's correct. So I did study as a lawyer. First of all, thank you again for having us here, Bill. So I did study as a lawyer for 12 years in private practice downtown with John Sotos at Sotos LLP. And now currently I'm at our family business that my father and my late father and his late partner started, Mr. Keroglidis, together with two of his children.
Yes. And who pushed you towards the HHF? Was it something that you instilled in yourself growing up, been influenced by the example that your father set? What was the motivation for you personally to decide to get involved?
Well, for myself, I wouldn't say anyone pushed me to it. I mean, just to back up a little, as you mentioned, the HHF was founded over 30 years ago by a group of successful Greek Canadian business people.
Except here in Keroglidis. We're not the only businessmen. It's directors. It was me and Dr.
They started it with a mission, a vision to help promote Hellenic culture, language, education in Canada. And that was the original founding principles of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. My late father, he was one of the founding directors, as you mentioned. So I've been involved with the HHF since the beginning, attending events. I would volunteer at the golf tournaments, the early galas that they had back at the Royal York in the late 90s. So I've been involved with the HHF since its inception as well at a lesser level. About 10 years ago, I decided, it'd be nice to join the board of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. By that time, my father had retired from the HHF. He was no longer active with the organization, but we still supported and as much as we could. So 10 years ago, I joined the board as the first step, which I enjoyed very much. It was very nice to get involved and be on the inside. And then after a couple of years, I became the chair of the Community Projects Committee, which is one of our committees that oversees support for community events, such as Greek schools, Greek theater, Greek dance, overseeing, as well as other initiatives that the Community Projects Committee undertakes. And then 2 years ago, I was honored to become the president. I was asked to become the president. It was a very big honor. So I accepted, and for the last 2 years now, I've been the president of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, which for me has been one of the most satisfying experiences I've had, working with our incredible board, our members, our volunteers, and really just continue what was started 30 years ago by the founding directors. And I hope that we continue again for another 30 years and continue to grow and expand And it's just really just to promote Hellenism in Canada.
And in these years that you followed the activity of the HHF, since you're a young man, a young person, a young child, really, when you started helping, how has it evolved? Initially, when we created it, we thought, okay, it's an association that will create some fundraising activities, and that's it. How has it evolved, and where do you see the future and the purpose of the HHF going forward?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're happy that it has expanded and grown, and it does a lot more than just fundraising. I know when it first started, it primarily was fundraising, and for one specific project. And the first project the HHF took on was to establish the chair in modern Greek history at York University, and that was the primary focus to fund that, which the Hellenic Heritage Foundation did with raising, I believe, over $2 million for that chair. Now, since then, we're still primarily a fundraising organization. We do have our fundraising activities. We have our gala coming up, which we'll talk about later. We have our golf tournament. But we are doing much more than that now. We're a little more active in what we do. We have our history committee, for example. They're very active. They produce podcasts every year. Their latest one this last year was on the 50-year anniversary of the Cyprus invasion. We also
Sandra and
which are the chair of our history committee. Yes, Sandra was led that effort. We also conduct walking tours on the Danforth. For example, just last March for Hellenic Heritage Month, we did walking tours for over 1,200 TDSB students almost every day in the month of March.
I found that, and we played it on GrecaTV. It was
wonderful,
very nice.
So we do a lot more now, and but we're still continuing to support other smaller organizations through grants, other types of support. So I believe we're a little larger now than when it first started. We've expanded, we've grown the board, we've grown the number of members, we've grown the volunteers. And really, we just hope to keep growing and fulfilling our mission.
Andy, as I attend now, what is it, the third gala or the fourth? I forget. I see a lot of Canadian-born Greeks, scientists, business people, professionals. Do you think that what is attractive, and it's a blessing, that networking in a Greek environment makes people as a motivation to join it?
Well, I mean, that's one of the things we're actually very proud of, in that a lot of the original directors, none are currently still active on the board. So we've had a turnover. We've had the next generation come in with some other past presidents prior to myself. Mr. Tony Larakis took over as president, myself, and even moving forward. So we've had a second generation come in now and lead the organization, help run it. And I think that's shown at our events as well, because we try to attract, young professionals at our events, as well as, everyone in the Greek community. But I think we're very attractive to that young professional, people starting their career, in the middle of their careers, and even people who are at the end of their careers. And we try to create an opportunity for them to network as well at nice events that we try to put on. But we're pleased that we're able to continue the strong work that was laid by the original directors and founders of the organization. And we just hope to, grow what they started.
That's very encouraging. I see that with the Hellenic Canadian Board of Trade happening as well, which is encouraging. And in the beginning, there was some skepticism in the community, some antagonism with established other organizations that we have. Do you think that's gone now? There's no antagonism, there's no jealousy? Or are you confident that we have overcome that period?
I mean, that was, any original issues was before me, but I think I can confidently say that we work well with our other organizations. We pride ourselves being able to work with them. Just last year, for example, the best example was last year for the visit of the Prime Minister of Greece, Prime Minister Mitsotakis, when he came here. That was an event put on by 5 organizations: ourselves, the Greek Community of Toronto, the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese, yes, the Board of Trade, and the Hellenic Initiative. So we all worked together. We came together for a good cause. Everyone supported the event. And even, so that was one good example, but even with other events, we support the Greek Community of Toronto and the York Region community. So we support a lot of other communities as well, Mississauga. So we like to work together with other organizations, so that if every time we can find an opportunity to work together, we welcome it.
I'll throw an idea for you for the first time. I haven't said it in public. We all know that the Taste of the Danforth has served the community very well, not only as a fundraising vehicle, giving funds to the hospitals and other good causes. As you know, because of COVID, that has gone. Krinos, that was the sponsor for many, many years, is no longer there. I hear some rumors they're trying to revive it, but perhaps not on the Danforth, but in a park. Do you feel comfortable discussing this idea with your board and see whether the HHF can take over such a worthy cause?
Yeah, so the way we typically operate, as I think I mentioned before, we primarily funders and support other organizations who operate. We're not necessarily operators. We tend to support other organizations for the most part. Now, event like that, we have our process. They would need to come to our community projects committee that I mentioned with an application. And every application we get dozens throughout the year for support for various events. We have our committee that reviews them, and if it's in line with our mission, we like to support as much as we can when we find something that we can support.
That's great. Before we conclude, would you like to add anything that comes to your mind with respect to the organization or anything else you want to comment about?
I mean, I feel like I shouldn't leave without mentioning our annual gala that's happening on June 7th at Universal Event Space. We're hoping to have over 1,000 people there. We have the feature entertainment this year is Yorgos Tsalikis. And really, it's a nice event that brings together the community. And they get to socialize, network, and also raise funds for all the work we do. So it's important that we raise as much money as we can at the event, and we hope everyone has a good time who attends.
Andy, ο πατέρας σου θα πρέπει να είναι πολύ υπερήφανος από εκεί που βλέπει και χαίρομαι που ανέλαβες αυτή τη θέση και συνεισφέρεις και εσύ με το δικό σου τρόπο. Σε ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Thank you, Bill.
Μη φεύγετε, θα συνεχίσουμε με δύο άλλα στελέχη του HHF σε λίγο. Προσοχή! Στο γκάλα Blue and White Ball του Hellenic Heritage Foundation στις 7 Ιουνίου έχετε την ευκαιρία να αγοράσετε λαχιοφόρο αγορά 50-50 Lottery Raffle για ενίσχυση του σπουδαίου έργου του Καναδικού Ιδρύματος Ελληνικής Κληρονομιάς. Τα κέρδη θα είναι πολλά. Αγοράζετε ένα εισιτήριο με $50, 3 εισιτήρια με 100 ή 10 λαχεία με $250. Ας ενισχύσουμε όλοι το Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Φίλοι μου, η χαρά μου συνεχίζεται και η συγκίνηση. Οι λόγοι είναι προφανείς και θα διαπιστώσετε κι εσείς μόνοι σας γιατί. Δίπλα μου είναι ο Γιώργος ο Κερογλίδης, ο οποίος είναι ο διευθύνων στο HHF. Αυτό που λέμε Managing Director στο HHF. Έτσι δεν είναι ο Γιώργος?
Έτσι είναι.
Και ο Γιώργος είναι ακριβώς αυτά που είπα για τον Andy, είναι το ίδιο πράγμα. Μεγάλωσε σε ένα σπίτι που οι γονείς του, ιδιαίτερα η μητέρα του, η Ειρήνη Κερογλίδη, δεν υπάρχει κάτι στην παροικία που να μην είναι στο κέντρο. Η Ειρήνη να προσφέρει μια ζωή, είτε είναι το γεροκομείο, είναι η κοινότητα, 1002 άλλα πράγματα. Γιώργο, καλώς όρισες και εσύ στην εκπομπή. Πόσο σε επηρέασε η μητέρα σου for you to be involved in this thing?
My mother and my father are huge roles in my life. As everyone knows, we have a very close family, but I always say she's who I want to be when I grow up.
Yes.
Her work ethic, her attitude's constantly positive, and she never does anything for any other purpose other than the community and the people around her.
How difficult is it to put into practice whatever the board decides? Mm-hmm. You have one of the key positions in this organization because if you fail, whatever they decide comes out not very successful. But everything they've done has come out successful. So that means that the credit goes a lot to you. How difficult it is to organize, especially a Greek organization. We know πως είμαστε ένα μπαμπούμ, ο ένας να βγάλει το μάτι του άλλου. How difficult that has been over the years. For how long you been now the managing director?
I've been with the HHF. This is, I think, my 13th year.
13th already.
13th, yeah. It hasn't been hard at all, to be honest with you. The group of board members and members, I get along with very well. We all work very well together. It hasn't been difficult. If it was difficult, I probably wouldn't have lasted 13 years. But
We also have like you too.
we all like each other. We all like each other. Like I'm surrounded by Nick and Andy
Yeah, we'll come to Nick in a moment.
and the rest of the board. It's a really great group. There's no politics within this group. There's no self-serving interests. Everyone's there to do good for the greater community. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's most of the decisions that we make come very easily. I'll be honest with you.
Talk to me about the important projects that you look after until they come to fruition.
Major projects?
Major projects that you do now. Well, yeah, the 7th of June, of course, the gala. You gotta be at the front of activities.
Sure. I mean, so there's two parts of the HHF. One's our community events, the HHF annual gala, the HHF golf tournament. Those are our two main fundraising events of the year, and the net proceeds from those funds fund all our community events, community projects rather. So Greek school textbook grants, the Greek International Film Festival, theater productions, dance productions, student scholarships. All the money that we are able to give out back to the community are raised from these two events. So they're very important, and it's very important that we do well in that in order to keep doing the work we do. Every 5 years or so, we invest in a major project. The last one was for the HHF Greek Canadian Archives. I know you've had Sakis to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I know you're a huge supporter of it as well. The major project before that was endowing a Hellenic Studies program at the University of Toronto. And as Andy mentioned before, the one before that was establishing an HHF chair at York University, where that still stands now. Two milestones that we have this year is that it's I believe the 10th anniversary of the HHF endowment at University of Toronto, and it's the 15th anniversary of the HHF chair at York University. So those are two big milestones that we can celebrate this year.
There were some initiatives to expand and go to other provinces. Has that happened? Have you done any steps towards that so that the HHF expands to the other provinces?
Yeah. A few years back, we did a tour of Canada. So we visited almost every province. We visited major cities across Canada to visit the Greek communities, let them know who we were and how we can help them, more than an ask of how they can help us. I believe it was, just to name a few, it was Halifax, Vancouver, Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal. We did Ontario, of course. We did Niagara and St. Catharines. But yeah, that initiative was more of letting Greek Canadians know who we were and how we can help. Out of that, we've been able to give Greek school textbook grants across Canada for Greek schools across Canada. And we've been able to fund the Heritage Greece program, which is available to students across Canada of Hellenic descent that go to university, college.
Are you networking at all or in communication with the Fraser University? Because they have a chair there as well. Are you speaking for common directions or anything else?
In collaboration, mostly. When Andrei Yerolimatos used to be the chair there, a few of our directors knew him pretty well. But we haven't been able to work side by side them. I look forward to the day when we can.
What's next?
Yeah, next is getting over June 7th. Once we've been able to clear our calendars of the gala, we start moving immediately towards our HHF Annual Golf Classic, which is our another event that's widely popular throughout the community and sells out every year.
That leads me to my other guest, another wonderful person that I know for a few years. And because I know his parents for a long time, my wife was a great friend of his mother. And I know his father, of course, who we come from the same part.
Northern Greece, baby.
In Greece. And speaking of the golf, I hear, in addition, you are the vice chair for community projects, but also the chair for the golf tournament. Is that correct?
That is correct. Well, first of all, I just want to say pleasure to be here, Bill, and the studio with you today, that we get to promote all the good things that are happening with the HHF. We need to celebrate all the good things that have been happening the last couple of years, and we're trending wider, more broader, and we're doing bigger, better things. So I'm very proud to be now a director for the last 2 years. Been side by side beside George here with Andy as well. And it's just a real pleasure to be involved with the HHF. I was a little intimidated, to be honest, with the HHF a few years ago. The HHF was a bigger organization. You know, from the outside, it looked like it was this massive, I guess, organization that would be, you know, what do they do? Well, once I stepped inside, it was a pleasant surprise to see all the good things that I wasn't aware of. And I feel it's our duty to promote them and tell all the good things that are happening, because I'm just astounded with all the things that are happening, which are several.
Yes, I was speaking to Stephen Mirkopoulos lately, who is a driving force from the beginning when we created the HHF, and he was telling me what pleases him is to see people like you being involved. What motivated you to get involved?
So my story is a little bit more linear in that I joined another community, which prepared me for this role in a lot of ways, because I joined the York community up in the 905. I joined up as I'm the CFO treasurer, and we got involved with the Greek school, which was the gem of our program. And then we started adding to those programs. And then guess what happened? We ended up meeting other people from other communities. And the common theme out of all of it was the HHF, because the HHF was sponsoring, supporting all these other communities. And where I see the evolution of the HHF is the one that is going to bring all our Toronto and the surrounding areas of Toronto together with their communities, and then eventually across Canada. But as a model for the diaspora in Canada, the HHF is by far the best vehicle to promote Greek Hellenism. And I'm just astounded by all the things that are happening within the HHF. And we have the gala that's coming up that helps fundraise for all these great activities. But we also have the golf tournament. But we also do these other amazing activities that is bringing people together, because a lot of people want to be connected to their community. And how do they do it? The HHF is giving potential entry points for people who want to get involved. And it gives them that opportunity to join one of the committees and one of the other events that we're getting in, and bringing our kids an entry point, a pathway to stay included in their Greek Hellenism, so we don't lose them, and we give them an entry point into their communities.
Nick, in your committee, how do you decide which community projects to support? Is it looking at different applications that come to your desk, or they're initiated ideas that you discuss in the committee? How do you bring this to fruition?
I'm glad you asked me that, because the reason why I joined that committee, because everybody who's on that committee, I've now known for 10, 15 years. Good people bring good people. And it was easy for me to sit down and talk to them. And we all have a similar vision. We're doing stuff. What really it starts off is, how is this going to be the future roadway for our kids? So when we look at a request, we're like, great, how does this impact kids from, preschool to grade 8, high school, universities, and then the next generation from 20 to 30? How does that impact? And how do we pick a program or a request that's going to have the biggest yield for the money that we raise at our events? So what we're seeing is we're getting all these good events, and we want to do all of them. And with a little bit of support, guess what's happening? They're percolating, because one connects to the other. So it's actually really easy, because we're all on the same age, same kind of development in our life. We're married with kids, and we're like, great, how do we keep this all together? So it's actually like, we think that the other one's already agreeing to it. It's been actually a really effortless debates.
Is there a new project that you have decided already you're free to discuss, or is still in the decision?
That's going to be for part 2, Bill. We have so many good things that are percolating right now. It's actually really exciting because I think the next 3 years, you're going to see some bigger consolidation of discussions that we've had for so many years. We've got lots of ideas, and now we're actually laying the groundwork to actually build on them. So we're really excited about some of the stuff, but it's going to be in the future in a couple. Part two.
George, I want your thoughts on the issue of the Canadian Initiative Organization, which is, of course, it's an international organization. And people confuse it. As far as I know, when you can correct me, that the initiative is mainly for fundraising for projects within Greece rather than outside of Greece. And so you don't see any conflict and you work with them in some capacity?
In many capacities, yeah. You're referring to the Hellenic Initiative Canada?
Yes.
Or THIC, yeah. So we have a lot of founding members that are now board members or founding donors of the Hellenic Initiative. Alexandros Georgiadis also sits on. I can name a few more as well.
Legends. These
Great.
are all legends.
All I can tell you is it's a very, very professionally run organization. The money that they raise is designed to go back to Greece in a very responsible way through organizations that they vetted already in advance. For example, the Greek fires that happened, they did a huge fundraising effort to raise funds towards that. But the money...
Trees or stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So the organizations that they ended up funding through those donations were vetted well in advance. So you knew the money was going to the right purpose and not to someone's pocket. The HHF serves a different purpose. All the funds we raise here, we keep here. So the mandate of the HHF is to preserve, promote, and advance Hellenic language, culture, heritage, and education in Canada, whereas the Hellenic Initiative Canada's mission is to raise funds here to give back to Greece in a really responsible way.
I don't recall on the other galas if you had the raffle. Is this the first time you introduced that?
The raffle's the first time, yeah.
First time. Yeah. How is that going? Because, I did say in the flyer ad that we do at Greca that it's going to give quite a bit of yield.
Yeah.
I know Sam Pandelemos did it, and my God, it gathered a lot of money.
It's gaining a lot of momentum. You can get tickets online at rafflebox/raffle/HHF, or just look up on our website for the information. It's
HHF.ca, right?
Yes.
Yeah, well, for them to access the website.
www.hhf.ca, and you can access our online auction or the raffle. You don't have to attend the gala to participate in either of those, which is great.
How are the ticket sales going for the actual gala?
Not too shabby.
And you said
I would say we're almost...
this time.
Kita Yoros Saikis is a huge featured entertainment, but we also have 2 DJs from Mykonos that are going to be an amazing time. We've got just under 950 guests coming so far, and our goal is 1,000.
That's great. That's good news.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I cannot tell you guys how pleased I am that you're here with me today, and congratulations on your initiatives to be actively involved in this worthy organization and take our community into the future. Congratulations. And thank you both for being here with me today. Thank you. Φίλοι μου, τώρα καταλαβαίνετε γιατί είμαι ενθουσιασμένος και συγκινημένος όταν καλεσμένοι είναι άτομα τα οποία μεγαλώσανε σε ένα υλικό σπίτι, κάνανε ωραία καριέρα σαν επαγγελματίες, σαν επιχειρηματίες, αλλά δεν καθίσανε σπίτι αδιάφοροι. Συγκινήθηκαν και θέλουν να προχωρήσουν το σκοπό της ελληνικής κληρονομιάς στο μέλλον. Δεν νομίζω ότι υπάρχει καλύτερο πράγμα να πετύχει η ομογένεια παρά να υποστηρίζουμε όλοι μας το έργο του HHF και σε οτιδήποτε κάνουν και τους άλλους οργανισμούς, την κοινότητά μας, την εκκλησία μας. Όλα αυτά δένονται μαζί, αλλά όλοι μαζί προχωράμε στο μέλλον. Εξάλλου, όπως ξέρετε και όπως λέω συχνά, γι' αυτό επένδυσα στην GrecaTV, γι' αυτό διανέμεται δωρεάν. Έχουμε ξεπεράσει πάνω από 1.500.000 hits μέσα σε 2 χρόνια το οποίο είναι πολύ ενθαρρυντικό, το οποίο σημαίνει ότι η ομογένεια διψάει για τέτοια πράγματα. Πολλοί λέμε ότι δεν θα γίνει τίποτα, δεν είμαστε άξιοι οι Έλληνες να κάνουμε κάτι. Όταν κάνουμε σωστά πράγματα, πάντοτε μεγαλουργούμε όπως έχουμε κάνει και από την αρχαιότητα. Μέχρι την άλλη φορά, να είστε καλά. Ευχαριστώ που ήσασταν μαζί μου και σήμερα.
Προσοχή! Στο γκάλα Blue and White Ball του Hellenic Heritage Foundation στις 7 Ιουνίου έχετε την ευκαιρία να αγοράσετε λαχιοφόρο αγορά 50-50 Lottery Raffle για ενίσχυση του σπουδαίου έργου του Καναδικού Ιδρύματος Ελληνικής Κληρονομιάς. Τα κέρδη θα είναι πολλά. Αγοράζετε ένα εισιτήριο με $50, 3 εισιτήρια με 100 ή 10 λαχεία με $250. Ας ενισχύσουμε όλοι το Hellenic Heritage Foundation.